Gee whiz, how I wish that this world was not placebo. Gee whiz, how I wish that this world was not a placebo. I mean, what if it could just simply exist for once, you know? Wouldn't that be nice? If this world simply could just exist and be what it is and not just slip away, you know, after half a second, you know? Usually the world disappears after half a second. Sometimes not even that. It slips away, disappears very, very, very quickly. Which means, to some extent or to the full extent, that the world is a placebo, because you get something and then it's gone, and then you don't know what you got. You don't know what you got. You think, is this medicine? Is this the truth? Is this the world? Or is it just my own imagination? Is it my own perception of my mind-brain phenomena? Is it that which I receive? When I receive the world, when I perceive anything at all, what is it that I perceive? Or more correctly, what is it that I receive when I perceive? Is it my own brain? Is it my own mind? Is it my own consciousness with a little bit of mental phenomena inside it, like a salad? The salad bowl is my consciousness. The content of the salad, tomato, onions, tuna, chicken, pistachio nuts, walnuts, things like that, whatever you can find and put in your salad, is simply just that which we perceive through the bowl, which is the consciousness. It's a salad bowl. This world is a salad, and we're living in the salad bowl, you know? We're living in the consciousness, which is the salad bowl, and everything that we perceive becomes the salad. Now, this is my question. Where does the content of the salad come from? Where does the walnut come from? Where does the tomato come from? That's the question. Where does the tomato come from? You know, does it come from my own mind-brain archetypical reproduction of impressions that I receive through my perception? Can you follow that sentence, baby? Well, good for you. Well, you get my point, right? Is the whole thing just placebo, or is it not? That's what I want to know. Is the whole thing just placebo, or is it not? You go to a gallery, right? You see a painting. What is it? Well, it's just a painting. Can you see that painting for what it is? Of course not. First, you get a glimpse of it through your open eyes. You stand completely in front of it, and you're taking it in fully. You think, or you feel, or you perceive, yes, I take in this painting fully. But the truth of it is that your nervous system and your brain receives a perception of that painting, of that physical aesthetic phenomena, that manifestation, that representation. And your nervous system and your brain starts to process it. You know, that's what happens. And when your mind-brain system has processed it, you start to take another bite of the salad. You take another spoonful of salad. You take another bite. You find another tomato, another part of the painting. Oh, there's a flower up there in the left corner. A new tomato in the salad. Oh, there's a circle down there, right below the middle. Ah. A walnut. Something in the salad of the world, something in the placebo, you know, that just affects my brain. So, art, of course, is just placebo. We know that, you know. Anyone with a skull and a brain and a mind and some talent knows that art is placebo. But the world Is the world placebo too? Yes, of course, because there's no difference between art and the world. The world is exactly like art. Art is exactly like the world. It's just something that we see. It is something that is produced to our senses, right? That's what art is. Art is something that is produced to our senses. It's an aesthetic manifestation. It's a representation. It's a representation as an aesthetic manifestation. And it occurs in this world because of the consciousness that we have, because of the bowl that keeps the salad together. Our consciousness, the bowl that keeps the salad of this world together, perceives the salad. So the salad comes, that's how the salad comes into the bowl, right? You fill up your bowl with the pieces of salad that you find, or even that your mind-brain machine system produces for you. You fill up your salad with that which the brain finds, with that which the mind-brain machinery finds available. You know, when you go to an exhibition, if you go to a gallery, the thing that you perceive is that which is available in the gallery. And that is endless. It's completely endless, just like the world. Because you go in there and you think that, well, all right, now I've seen this exhibition, it's nice. The space is nice. It's clean, it's puristic, it's professional, it's nice, it has talent. I can see the talent of the curator here. She's not too bad. She's not too stupid. She has some sophistication. All right. So you take it in. You understand it. You digest it. You digest the salad. And you reach a conclusion. Well, this was quite good. The artwork was quite good. The gallery is not too bad. And the curator is not too stupid. She has some limitations, I can clearly see, but she's not too bad. She's not too stupid, you know. She's not too hopeless. She's not a complete victim of her own paradigm of art as it is, or art as it should be, in her perspective. She's not too completely lost in her stupidity, which is called the discourse of that which she thinks is art. You know, she's not too idiotic. It's possible to accept her as a curator simply because she wants to be a curator, you know. That's what she wants, so why not? So you come in and you see, well, this is it. It's nice. But actually, it's not it. You have just digested the first part of the salad, you know. You have eaten the whole salad, that which was available to you, but when you let yourself digest it and you open your eyes again, you will see, wow, now I see something that I never saw before. And that feeling of now I see something that I didn't see before is produced by the result of the digesting the first portion of the salad. The reason why the world is different to you now is because you have already seen it. You have already seen the world. You have already seen the salad. You have already seen the art exhibition. So you know, well, this is it. This is how it looks. But actually, it looks like that simply because you haven't seen it before. It's the freshman's experience. You see it as a freshman. Your system is fresh. You don't have any baggage. You don't have any memory. You don't have any imprint in your own mental system from this experience from before. So you see it as a new thing, you know. So you digest it. You digest it. Your consciousness has received the salad. You're eating it. You're digesting it. You're taking a break. You're moving your head around, and suddenly you see, oh, now I see something else. This space appears to me a little different than at first sight. Oh, it is more sophisticated than what I knew. It has actually more sophistication than what I thought, and it has more possibilities for intelligent conceptual art. It has, this space has potential. It means that this gallery is not too stupid. Even the director must be quite clever. this space has potential. And the art is not as sophisticated as I first thought. It's not as relevant for contemporary art as I first thought. The implications and the connotations, philosophically and scientifically, of the artwork itself are not that sophisticated. They don't reflect a mature understanding of the human program and of the whole process that a mature artwork should have. Let's take a closer look at it. Oh, well, didn't I know it? He's just simply an amateur. I can see that. I just gave him credit. When I first came in here, I gave the artist some credit. I thought, well, good for you. This is not too bad. But actually what I did, I gave you credit as an artist simply because the space was sophisticated. But your artwork is not really sophisticated. You're a primitive artist. You're not on a high level. You don't have intellect. You don't have self-insight. You don't bring anything new to the table of the discourse of art. You're just repeating stuff, which means that you're just repeating art as representation, only that. And you don't have anything new to say. You're just making variations within the same discourse that everybody knows. In many ways you're a coward. You're a self-sufficient coward. You're just rolling around in your own fat. There's nothing new here. There's no thought. There's no intellect. There's no intelligence here. It's just an old salad. It's just a very old salad. It's just something that has been produced in the art world for 50, 60, 70 years. It's called modern art. It's called contemporary painting. It's called modern art. But actually it's nothing. It's just representation in an abstract form. It's just this is a very good sentence. If you have awareness about art, you would understand this sentence. It's just representation in an abstract form. It's abstract art. So the artist thinks, and the discourse of art makes us believe that, this has a different set of implications and connotations than figurative or representational art. But this is just as representational. It's just abstraction as representation. It is representation as abstraction. Because you can see that there's no philosophical content, there's no awareness, there's no dialogue of the discourse itself. There's no progress in how to treat the discourse of art within your own work. So it's just a repeat. It's just someone who wants to be clever. He has made a new set of paintings. He has a new set of production. Instead of 150 paintings, now he has 200 or 350 or 2,573. That's the only difference. It's just the number of paintings, and they look different because they are different paintings, and they look completely different because they are different. But actually, they're not. They're the same thing. They're just representation as abstraction, and there's no philosophy, there's no scientific research, there's no approach, there's no talent, there's no artistic talent there. It's just representation. It's just cleverness. It's just a person who's clever to do this or that. Or is simply everything that I'm saying now just placebo? Is it my own imagination? Perhaps he's really, truly intelligent. Maybe I'm the placebo person, Maybe I'm just reproducing my own interpretations. Maybe I'm finding my conclusions because I have some affinity for these kinds of conclusions. Maybe I'm just repeating my own program, just as the artist is just repeating his program, and just as the curator is just repeating her program, and just as the director who has made this space available as it is also repeating his or her own program. Maybe we're just repeating our own programs. We're just repeating our own paradigms of interpretation. That's what we're doing. We are just repeating our own paradigms of interpretation. So it means that, maybe this artist is more clever than I am. Maybe he sees more than I do. Maybe I'm just fooling myself. I'm self-delusional. That's because of the placebo. I perceive something and then I start to go berserk. I start to I perceive something and then I start to produce interpretations. Why do we do that? Because there's something manic inside the salad bowl, inside the human machinery of men and women. We are, in some sense, addicted to making interpretations and conclusions, because that's how we organize the world, and that's how we navigate the world, and that's how we organize ourselves and represent ourselves and put ourselves together as a manifestation as an artwork even, to the world. So I am becoming an artwork that I'm presenting to the curator, for example, while it's just the thing that I present as myself is just a combination of attributes, of characteristics of me that I find appropriate to assemble. I assemble them to a piece that I present, just as the painter assembles his painting. He produces a production. We too, we produce a production. We produce a presentation. We produce something that we present to other people. How do we produce that? Well, we produce that by the innate capabilities of our mind-brain system. And those innate capabilities has to do with our talent to interpret and reach conclusion. Basically, it's about perception and projection. It's the machine of projection, We make projections, and the way that we make projections, that is the secret to life. If you understand how the human program produces a projection, then you know basically everything that you need to know about life. You don't need to know anything more than that. If you know how your own system produce a projection, that means that you know yourself. You know the human program. You know the mind-brain system. You don't know. I'm not saying as a psychoanalytically or emotionally. Your inner child and your feelings and your emotions. I'm not talking about the emotional aspect or the soul part of us. I'm just talking about the machine of projections, just as a guru, a spiritual guru like Shunyamurti or Muji, they too are just a tiny little machine inside their own brain. And that tiny little machine inside the brain of Shunyamurti and inside the little brain of Muji is the machine of projection. That's it. If you convey to them the machinery of projection making inside their own brains, then they would give up being a guru, because they would see that it doesn't make sense. It's just a projection. I'm just projecting this. And even if it is true that which I am projecting, even if it is true that which I am projecting about the world and about myself and about the truth and about this and that, even if it is true, it is still produced. And I'm the producer of it. Do I want to be the producer of it? No, because it's inauthentic. It's not original. It's not true knowledge. It's not true awareness. It's not the authentic, original process. What every guru or teacher wants is the authentic, original process. We want to know what is what, as we say in Buddhism. We want to know what is what. How do we produce our projections? How do we produce them? Not many people know that, and of course only 2 or 3% of grown-ups are ready for a dialogue like this, or is ready for seeing themselves as I'm asking them to do. Please see yourself, your little French fry, your little motherfucker from your own little bank account, you spoiled little brat, you little twat. You who think you are so knowledgeable. How about your placebo? How about your projection mechanism, How about that which is producing the projections that you attach to? How about that? When you see that, that's when you give up, or that's when you find peace, or that's when you find enlightenment. And that's when you know the human program. When you know the human program, then you don't need anything more. Because that which is called God, or absence, or the void, or Parabrahman, or Brahman, or even Atman, or the divine, or the Father, or the Mother, or Virgin Mary, or anything, absolutely anything at all, is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that exists inside ourselves. It's a part of our truth, let's say. It's our spirit. It's our spirit. It's our soul, heart, essence, spirit. The spirit that comes out of our soul, heart, essence, you could say. Our purity. Our original purity. Our authentic heart self originality. That's what it is. And everything else is just placebo, or everything else is a part of that which goes into the production of projections, right? Consciousness is the salad bowl. Everything that we perceive, whether it is our own projections, our own memories, our own mental phenomena, or the outside world, or an art exhibition, or the mental content of another person which we try to help. All of these things occurs to us, and we make our own projections in accordance with what we perceive, not only in accordance with what we perceive, but in accordance with the programming in our own system, how we interpret. How is it that I interpret? That is my program. How is it that I make interpretation? How is it that I project? How is it that I make interpretations? How is it that I make projections? When I see that, I have seen the mind-brain machinery that constitutes my mental life. When I give that up, or when I have awareness of that, well, then I come to nirvana, then I have found peace. Then I don't have to be a slave of my own mind-brain system anymore. I don't have to be a slave of the salad. I don't have to be an eternal customer of the salad. I don't have to be someone who constantly needs a tomato or an onion, or the world, or an art exhibition, or a discourse, or art, or philosophy, or science, or knowledge even. I don't need that, because even knowledge is a part of the projection machine, Knowledge is interpretation. Knowledge is made up of 50% interpretation and 50% projection. Knowledge is that which consists of 30% perception. And perception is already clouded by the human program. Then, on top of those 30% of perception, which is already clouded and influenced by the human program itself, then there comes 20 or 25% interpretation. Right? And then we have 50 or 45% projection. Do you know why the mechanism for projection is stronger than the mechanism for interpretation? It's because of the survival instinct. We have to survive. If you don't have a stronger projection mechanism than an interpretation mechanism, then you cannot survive. Because the interpretation mechanism makes you understand that, oh my God, I'm being attacked by a lion who is very dangerous, or I might be eaten by this wild animal. That's your interpretation. But that's not enough. You need the projection mechanism, I got to get out of here. How do I get out of here? How do I escape this situation? That part of the system is stronger than the part of interpretation. If you are under threat, if you're in a dangerous situation, if your brain or your amygdala system can detect threat of any kind, then the mechanism or the part of interpretation is not as strong as the part of projection. Then if you're under threat, if your amygdala or your brain perceives or detects threat of any kind, then the part of projection is stronger than the part of interpretation. If there is no threat, if you're in an academy listening to a professor who is dishing out completely sophisticated analysis of the mind-brain problem phenomena, the epistemology of science or anything at all, of anything whatsoever, he's just picking the world apart, like me in a way. If you're there and there's no threat whatsoever, then your interpretational part, the part of interpretation, is much stronger than the part of projection, because you're not interested in making projections, you're interested only in understanding this and digesting this and integrating this. So you're only interested in interpretation. You're only interested in interpreting that which you receive through the lecture, through the teaching, through the reflection, through the process, through the intellectual process of analysis and reflection. So you're not afraid. So the part of you that is making interpretation is active and more strong than the part of you that is making projections. If there is any threat to your system, if your system can detect any threat, then the part of interpretation becomes weaker and the part of projection becomes stronger. Now we have learned something. This is new knowledge. Or is it just placebo? Who knows? I actually think that this little teaching is not placebo. It might be true. But even if it is true, we have already established the truth, or the fact that even the truth is placebo to the mind-brain system. And this is the whole problem. This is the walnut in the salad. This is the pistachio nut in the salad. This is the hazelnut in the salad. This is the nut in the salad, Even the truth is a projection based on interpretation. And moreover, is that product which we call the truth, is that also placebo? Like anything else. You take it and then it vanishes. It doesn't last, The longevity of things is half a second or perhaps a full second if we're really very lucky. Things just don't last. But the process lasts. The process of the human program is eternal as long as the human brain is there. The human program, which is the interaction between brain and nervous system, is eternally present, as long as the human being is produced as the animalistic machine that he is. As long as there is a production of that which we are, the things that I'm talking about will always be relevant, because we're living in the human mind-brain machinery, So we are living with interpretation and projection inside the salad bowl of the world, or of an art exhibition, or of our own mind content. Everything inside me is the salad inside the consciousness, which is the salad bowl. Everything that I perceive from the world is the salad inside the salad bowl, which is my consciousness. I get the salad into my salad bowl through perception, right? The salad bowl is consciousness. I have an active perception. That's an ability, that's a feature, that's something that's a faculty that I have. It's an ability that I have. It's a characteristic of how the human mind program machine works. My consciousness is the arena for the ability of perception that I have. And through this perception, I take the world into my salad bowl. I take that which I perceive and make it my salad. And out of this salad, I'm making interpretations and projections. Whether I'm in the world, or in my own mind, or in an art exhibition, or in academy auditorium. If I'm in auditorium in the academy lecturing about this, then I'm still inside my salad bowl. I'm still inside that which needs further analysis. And this analysis is just simply a way of opening up the idea that we all could take a look at. What is it that is placebo? And what does it mean that things are placebo? What does it mean that things come and go in the way that they do? What does it mean that the interaction of the salad bowl, which is consciousness itself, and the salad itself, which is that which I perceive, is an interaction that is eternally ongoing inside of me, as long as the human program is activated by that which we call life. And we don't know what life is. The only thing that we might conclude is that that which actually is life. If there is something that is life, it may be that life actually doesn't exist because life is produced. Life is produced by chemicals and neurons and proteins and neurochemicals, and life is produced. Life is that which we call life is a product. And it is produced by the human program. It's produced by the mind-brain machinery, which is constituted by the interaction of the brain and the nervous system. So that is what is constituting life. Life is the background awareness of consciousness, you could say. Life is the knower within. Life is that with which we know. Life is that with which I know the discourse that I'm presenting in this little talk, right? In any case, what we do know is that we don't completely know how this interaction is constituted by the various elements that actually constitute the interaction itself. Thank you.